You're watching the Stone and Wood Post Show. Big day of competition here in WA for the Western Australia Margaret River Pro. With all the drama of the midseason cut, we've got your roster set for the back end of the season and who will be on tour in 2026 from the championship tour. And Main Break certainly delivered after 4 consecutive lay days. Big south swell that really got clean and rippable. We had perfect scores. A lot to talk about on the Stone and Wood Post Show. Joe Trappell, Jesse Starling, and Richie Lovett here. So much intensity when surfers are fighting for their spot to compete for a world title this year. Rick, you're on the call for those last couple of heats, and there was so much on the line.
There was so much on the line, you know, the cart, there was people trying to make their, secure their spot on tour. It all goes down, and what I love is the grit and determination, and when you see competitors stand up to the challenge and deliver. And we saw Lakey deliver it on that last heat. Amazing. Big
16-heat day. The men's quarterfinals were thrilling as well. It's not every day you get a giant full rotation punt. We got to see a 10 today, Jesse.
We did get to see a 10 today, and it was quite a 10 at that. Griffin just had us on our toes. Leo in that heat got himself a 9 as well. So the quarterfinals, they were energetic. They were super spicy and definitely one of the highlights of my day.
And now we're getting into the last day of the waiting period with plenty of swell and energy, setting up semifinals for both the men and the women now, Rick.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow. We hope the swell's going to stick around. We're sure it will. And it might be a short day tomorrow, but it's going to be exciting, that's for sure.
Also news with the GWM Aussie Treble. That's all leading up into this event at Margaret River as well. Luana Silva was in the mix. Isabella Nichols is the one grabbing the keys today.
She's taking over the tank. She's going to drive it straight back across the Nullarbor, back to the East Coast. And what a great way to end the day. New car.
Well, let's break down in the Boost Mobile heat of the day. We got to see fireworks from Griffin Colapinto and Leo Fioravanti. Leo's been unbelievable, not just in this event, but this season. Coming in with some big 9s behind him. Threw down a 9 in this heat, but then let Griff go. Let's see the conditions first, Rick. It was pumping in this matchup.
It was absolutely pumping, and Leo out to an early lead, and then Griff just started to put things together. And then topped it off with one of the most amazing things we've ever seen at Margaret River Main Break. He did an air that honestly was one of the biggest rotations and highest airs I'm going to say ever done in competition here for sure.
And without priority, Leo's playing such a smart heat. We talk about the tactician, the foundation, the performer, the confidence, but then the magic of Griffin. That can turn just things into his favor. I mean, this is when Leo just had everything going his way, and then this happened.
Yeah, it all came down to this moment in this wave. You see him change his line, widen his stance, and this is it. Wow, this is the moment that just had us all just smiling big all throughout the day. That crazy, huge full rotation from Griffin got him the 10 and got him the win through the semi-finals.
One of the most amazing things about that air is that he didn't over-rotate. He did 360 in the air, and then he was able to stabilize the board and keep it corrected right at that point where he landed and then nailed it.
Look at the numbers there. There's the 10. A lot of fans out there wanted Griffin to have a 10 at the box. Well, he saved it for Main Break 4 days later. He's got that real cool connection to being spontaneous, improving, surfing with heart. He can kind of get off the X's and O's and the textbook type formula that you can have in a playbook. He's got that mystique in his ability to identify major moments, and he called that landing maybe one of the best moments of his career. He called that wave at the box maybe the best moment of his career. He's going to be repeating that, I think, for multiple times this season if he continues on this type of roll.
Yeah, let's keep that up for Griff, because that is some very entertaining surfing. And I mean, if that's what we've seen over the last 2 days of competition from Griffin, bring on what finals day has to come, because I know surfers like these, they save their best till last. So let's do it. Let's see it.
Brothers feed off each other, don't they? And when Crosby does well, Griffin responds, and the opposite. With Crosby having that scary heat at the box where he's surfing for a spot on tour, the energy's really lifted in the Colapinto camp.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely feeding off each other, and it's been a tough year for both the brothers. Griff has had a terrible start, really. He was way down the ratings. Cros obviously had the injury, missed a bunch of events, and just has charged his way back up the ratings, made the tour, and now they're both absolutely flaring and putting in some crazy performances now.
Looking forward to seeing what might happen with the Colapinto brothers on finals day, but we just got to keep going back to Jesse Starling's call on Dawn Patrol. Long time ago now. Jordy Smith is a call out there. A big part of your fantasy team is now back to #1 in the world as he had a matchup matchup with Imai Kalani-Duvall. Remember, Imai was trying to win the event to keep his spot on tour, but Jordy was just too strong.
He's just so textbook, and I did say it at the Dawn Patrol. When you think of power surfing, you think of Jordy Smith at main break, and I mean, he is keeping my fantasy dream team alive. Everyone else has been knocked out, so Jordy holding it down. And it was an emotional roller coaster because I was really invested in this story of Imai. Needed to find the win to make the cut, get that last 20-second position, but unfortunately, just wasn't his day today. Jordy was just too good out there.
See how beautiful these conditions were. Imai in this heat with a 7.83, so he was definitely throwing that rail around on that CI. Found his form late. He mentioned how he felt the pressure all season until Margaret River main break. We know he's got so much more in his career as we wish him the best on the CS, but it feels like the year Jordy Smith. Emotional victory in El Salvador. First time he's been #1 in the world since 2017.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? And it's a good story to get behind, but Jordy just with his heat management has been on point with his decision making. Wave choice, placement of maneuvers, everything is just in sync at the moment. Jordy is just in the zone. You know, we talk about surfers who have just got this energy around them, the spotlight around them, and Jordy's feeling it at the moment. Great to see him up the top.
WA has always been a great event for Jordy Smith. As we look at the final bracket, semifinals are set. There's a Colapinto on each side of the draw. Will we see a brothers final? We'll find out tomorrow. Griff does have Baron Mamiya. Crosby does have Jordy Smith. Now that we've seen everything from everybody, I'm going to have to put you both on the spot here. Who's going to be in the final and who's winning the event? Jesse Starling, I'll start with you.
I'm thinking we're going to see a Griffin and Jordy final, and I think if it comes down to rail surfing, Jordy's going to get the jump, but if Griffin can pull another air out of the bags, then maybe Griffin will get the win, but I've got to go with my original pick. I've got to stick with Jordy.
Nice line. They connected from the start of the event. What about you, Rick?
Crosby's going to win the event.
Oh.
First event win for the Cros. You're seeing it happen.
Yeah, I just think the whole fairy tale of, you know, making the cut and surfing for the position, and it just had a little hiccup heat, which normally happens for the winner. They normally get past that little hiccup heat and they get that momentum going again. I feel like Cros is going to take it.
Gosh, great choices. Remember, there's so much emotion in that last heat with Imai falling off tour, but a celebration on the other side for Alejo Muniz, who lost early in the event, was staring at the lineup every day, just seeing if anyone would overtake him, and he takes that last spot officially to surf a complete year this year and also re-qualify for next season. Crosby had the sudden death surf off with Jackson Bunch. Al Cleveland Jr. didn't even realize he had the heat of his life the other day. And obviously things getting exciting towards the top end as well, as this whole team's moving forward to lower trestles and beyond.
Yeah, bring it on. It's a great looking 22. And I feel like taking a look at every single one of these names, they all bring something different to the tour. They all bring something fun and interesting. And I think these last events of this year are going to be really exciting, and there's a lot of room. So that final five could look a lot different by the time we get to Fiji.
On the other side of it, some big names relegated to the Challenger Series, starting off their campaign at Newcastle, from Ryan Callanan all the way down to Imai Kalani-Duvall. One name or two that are really popping out to you, Rick, that you think will be immediately back on tour next year?
I got to go with George Pitter and Sammy Pupo. I think just Sammy's such a wizard. He seems to just, you know, find his way back onto the tour, really dominate the Challenger Series. I think George is too good not to be on the tour. And, of course, he's my boy from Manly. So, yeah, come on, George.
Come on.
I mean, we don't have much time to wait. How good's pro surfing? I mean, we've got all the CT drama, but the Challenger Series is starting really quickly. Newcastle has so much surfing history and a lot of great waves. We saw that in the CT briefly in 2021 more recently, so a lot to look forward to as far as big heats to watch.
Oh, definitely. And for me, names that don't, for me, feel like they belong on the Challenger Series, Liam O'Brien, Maddie McGilvray. So two people I think will get back on the tour very quick, but sometimes it just takes going back to the Challenger Series to realize that you want to belong on the CT.
Totally. Another big impactful story and moment that we had today was young Luana Silva making the cut for the first time in her career, and is against this feisty rookie named Aaron Brooks. Lulu winning this heat, made the cut. She's fallen off the cut more than once. Usually it's the emotional roller coaster of going back to the Challenger Series. Lulu's surfing belongs on tour, and she got to really enjoy that feeling today, Rick.
Yeah, and she didn't actually know until she walked up the stairs and she saw her boyfriend, Joao, delivered the news, and she just actually couldn't believe it, you know, and this was a tough heat. Erin was ripping, getting right up tight in the backhand. Some of the fastest hooks we've seen from this youngster out here in this event. But Luana, she just, you know, dug in, stuck with the game, and got it done. So you can see her actually just flourishing mentally, you know, through the event. With each heat win, she's going, I can do this. I do belong here. I can take these bigger competitors down. So, you know, with some amazing surfing over the past couple of events, you know, we're going to expect a lot more from her in the coming weeks and the coming months.
We're all clicked when she made the final at Bells Beach. Joao Chianca right there said, hey, you made it. She's like, wait, are you serious? And then the emotion, she let go of it all. All of her best friends signing up for hugs, including Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. What a great moment for Luana, for the Silva family. She went quickly to thank her mom and dad, her younger brother, for all the support through the highs and lows. Remember, she got the call up this year because Stephanie Gilmore continued her hiatus from the tour, and so she thought she'd fallen off again. The roller coaster of pro surfing, I'm just so thrilled that Luana gets to know what it's like to surf free, you know, in the back end of the year, to surf J Bay, to surf lower trestles, you know, so much to look forward to.
I'm so excited that she didn't, and to see her, you know, cry tears of joy on those stairs rather than tears of heartbreak, which we have seen from Luana here before. It was a pretty special moment for, I think, a lot of people who have been a part of her journey, a lot of viewers who watched that heartbreak this time last year, but she's done it, and she's on the back half of the tour.
And for her, it was not knowing the result she needed that really helped her stay locked in. Where some competitors want to feel it. They want to know where they want to go, you know? Some surfers come in totally aware of the points, and I think for Lulu it's better if she just stays in the go zone and just takes it one wave at a time.
Yeah, and that's, you got to find what works for you as a competitor. Do you want that added pressure, or do you want to know everything so that you can just, you know, laser focus on what you have to do? So I think you're right. I think she operates better just feeling free and not really knowing the consequences.
We had a screamer to finish off the day. Two legends just going head to head. Isabella Nichols driving that brand new GWM Tank 300, taking on Lakey Peterson. Lakey didn't just want to re-qualify for next year. She wanted to officially make the cut. She was going crazy in this matchup.
Oh, I'm seeing almost young Lakey just starting to really rear her head. So much dominance, so much determination in her performance. She's just been finding this new gear that I don't even think she knew she had, and it's been super impressive. And not to mention up against Isabella Nichols, who has been one of the more informed surfers here at Margaret River over the last few years, and she was absolutely ripping too. This was a massive matchup, and one I actually couldn't keep my eyes away from.
Yeah, so many great back and forth battles. What did it really come down to, Rick, to decide the winner of this matchup?
It was super close. There was that one wave that Bella got with just a little catch on that opening turn, and it just kept that score from going right up into the excellent range. But Lakey was just busy. She got out, you know, she got that lead established, and then just continued on with it. But, you know, almost mistake-free surfing, solid as a rock.
Making the cut. Congratulations to the top 10 after stop 7, continuing on to lowers, now trying to work out the final 5 for Cloudbreak. Erin Brooks, emotional on the stairs, just watching everybody compete. She takes that 10th spot. Lakey just ahead of her there. Lulu, Gabriela Bryan still leading the tour. Lakey Peterson, fresh off that win, is now hanging out with Vaughn Blakey on the glass.
Well, what a roller coaster of emotions. This event has been such a, well, from the cellar to the penthouse. You have officially made the cut on the back of that performance. Lakey Peterson, congratulations.
Oh man, thank you so much. I can't believe it. This week has been so hard. It took everything, honestly. It took everything I had to just stay in it and believe in myself and, like, oh, just do it. I've been doing this a long time, and I was just like, come on, I know it's in there. And so just really proud of myself, honestly, to do it today and really good waves and frick, just so stoked to surf lowers. I was like, I gotta surf lowers. I live there, and like, yeah, I just really wanted to get that event in California, especially, and frick, but more work to be done here. I'm stoked.
I think one of the most impressive things about your run through this event has just been the attack. Like, your surfing has never looked like it was under pressure, despite the fact you were surfing at one stage to save your career. Now you're surfing basically for a spot in that finals five.
Yeah, I think it was definitely, that's been the goal of this event, like just to surf free and attack, and kind of like, you got nothing to lose. Like, I did have something to lose, but the goal was just to free my mind up of that and just surf how I know I can surf, you know. And I think the last few years after my back injury, it's been hard to get back to that place of like fully attacking. And I don't know, I felt good in my free surfs, and I just knew it would click if I just kept working. So I just kept head down, kept going, and it clicked. So I'm really stoked. It's great to get some momentum, and just knowing I've got lowers and J-Bay and a few events I really love coming up now is so cool. And yeah, hopefully it's just the start of more.
It's classic. I can feel the sense of disbelief, even with the belief that you can do it. So it's coming out of you. It'll sink in tonight. But how good does it feel to be back into another finals day here at Margaret River?
Oh, it's so awesome. I mean, just coming here every year for a long time now, and this place used to really freak me out and scare me. It still does. The elimination round, I was so scared out there, but I felt like it's always been a wave I can do well at, and so it's great to just, yeah, be in another finals day. And I've been hanging out with Bronte a lot this week, actually, and I was like, come on, B-Mac, you and me in the final are on opposite side of the draw, so I don't want to speak too soon, but it'd be cool. I keep telling her we're on our way, so now it'll be a good day tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. We're so stoked for you, and congrats again.
Yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, thanks everyone who supported me. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep it going. Woo!
What an epic run for Lakey Peterson into a finals day, making the cut. As we check out the finals bracket, just to note, Sally Fitzgibbons has been relegated to the Challenger Series as she's making another big comeback in the back end of the year. These are the heats. Lakey wants a final with Bronte. How are you guys seeing it? Remember, predictions again. Who's going to win? Starting with you again, Jessie.
My prediction is we're going to see a Caity-Gabby final, and I think Caity's going to get the win. She's just drawing such different lines to have seen anyone else draw out here. Gabby obviously has been a standout, but I just think Caity, she hasn't really clicked into that top gear we've seen from her yet, so that's my call.
Good. I like that. Richie, love it.
Look, I put Gabby in my fantasy surf team, and I'm going to stick with that choice.
Okay.
I just feel like the whole back-to-back story might just eventuate as well. So yeah, I'll stay there.
Yeah, and she's had some wild heat wins too that sometimes aren't pretty, but just based on how good she is, she can save herself with that type of surfing. Big 9 for 2 turns earlier today where she couldn't stay on her feet. So those are positive signs. When she puts a whole heat together, it's pretty hard to beat her.
Yeah, I know, and that's, you know, she's got that power game that at the moment I just feel is unmatched. So it also might depend what happens out here in the ocean and what sort of swell we get greeted with in the morning. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be exciting either way.
Well, remember, this is the final stop of the GWM Aussie Treble. Great news to celebrate with Isabella Nichols. We'll send it to Von Blakey.
Well, the GWM Aussie Treble has been one of the great initiatives of this year's Aussie leg, and all the surfers are looking and searching hard to get the points to win one of these, a GWM Tank 300. The men's is still up for grabs, but the women's has been won, and I think yes, there she is. Isabella Nichols, congratulations. You are the champion of the GWM Aussie Treble. You must be pumped.
I'm just spinning wheels here. I don't even know. This is the best prize that I think I've ever won. Speechless, as you can tell. But yeah, this whip is sick. I've just jumped in for the first time, and it's really nice on the inside, and can't wait to do a little road trip back from WA back to the East Coast.
This Aussie leg has been such a memorable one for you. Obviously the big win at Bells, but some fantastic performances at Burleigh and also here at Margaret River.
Yeah, coming into the treble, like, it was always a dream. Like, how cool would that be to walk away with a car? So rad. But I never really thought too much about it until this event. And it's funny, like the 2 heats before mine, when I knew the car was on the line, I was actually almost more nervous because I knew that there was a car. Like, if Lulu didn't make the heat, it was mine. And I was like, priorities, you know, like. But I mean, sick prize. So stoked. Thanks GWM. Thanks WSL. Froth it.
Yeah, mate. Well, congratulations. The GWM Tank 300 is yours. There she is, the champ of the Aussie Treble.
Oh, gosh, how cool is that? Congratulations, Isabella Nichols. It's been a tradition in pro surfing. Cars have been given out, but that one looks classy. The Tank 300, and Isabella looks great in it. You're predicting that she's going to drive it across the country. I hope she does.
I hope she does too. The Nullarbor, it's a beautiful drive. She could go down South Oz, back up through the coast. Now I want a tank.
So do I. Congrats, Isabella. We'll see where it ends up in the men's side. That decision will be made on finals day. We got to talk surf. We waited 4 days through onshore winds. Got a great south swell today. It cleaned up as the day went on. Surfline helping us out, making the call here for finals day. What are you seeing in this forecast, Rick?
I think this is going to be a fairly easy one to predict. We're obviously seeing a bit of a drop in swell. We saw big waves this morning. That weather system came through, cleaned up beautifully, and a real south energy to the swell. So tomorrow, we're going to look at that 5 to 8 foot face mark. So, you know, overhead, a couple overhead sets, I think, and offshore in the morning and a little side shore. But I think we'll probably be wrapped by the time this onshore wind or side shore wind comes up. It's looking good for tomorrow. There'll be contestable waves.
Wow, it's going to be a very quick, exciting finals day. Tomorrow, the last day of the waiting period. Big thanks to Surfline giving us those green colors, showing we're going to have some great conditions for the Hydrolite heat to watch. First one, semifinal one with Bronte Macaulay in the wild card. No such thing as retiring. Look at the run she's into her 4th semifinal in her career at main break, taking on the world champ, Caity Simmers.
Oh yeah, Bronte's relationship with main break is just so beautiful. And she said in her posting interview today, she's just been winging it. And so she's been winging it all the way to the semi-finals. She's been looking to break out of this round for so many years now. So potentially as a wild card, might be able to do it. But I do think it's a big matchup in Caity Simmers. She's been drawing some very unique, very grunty kind of lines out there, so we'll see what Caity can bring.
I like it, Jesse. Hydrolite heat to watch on the men's side. Griffin Colapinto off the 10. Mamia's had a lot too in this event. Barron with a masterclass at the box and looked really comfy at main break today.
Yeah, he looked really good, and you know, he's basically built a reputation on those big turns, those big waves. But I think with a drop in swell tomorrow, I'd love to see Barron just tap into his air game, because he's got such a crazy air game and we don't see it that much anymore. I think he's going to have to tap into that if he wants to really push Griff. Obviously coming off an absolute heater today with the 10, and there's some good energy around him at the moment.
And I think if they get off to like a freestyle battle with going wave for wave, that'll actually help both of those competitors on that heat, making it a great Hydrolite heat to watch. If Griffin lands something big, I think Barron will just go, okay, let's go blow for blow, and see who's in the best on the air on the day. That's happening tomorrow. I can't wait. With Barron looking so comfortable this year, fighting for the yellow jersey. He had a chance at that, but it was all about Jordy Smith taking that #1 role, which leads us into the BioGlen Daily Dose, coming in at number 5 on the list. The oldest guy on tour, 18 years on tour. It's the year of Jordy Smith. He's back to world #1.
Yeah, he's in the yellow jersey, and he belongs there. He's had such a great year this year, and it feels like he's just flowing. He's got so much fun just in his surfing, so sharp as well. I mean, this has been the year of Jordy Smith. Bring on the yellow jersey, bring on the back half of the season, and bring on what he has to bring, because it's just been fun to watch.
Coming in number 4 on the BioGun Daily Dose. Local knowledge prevails for Bronte Macaulay.
Yeah, this was a really cool heat, and the spectators, all the fans, all the locals, they turned out to watch this one. And Bronte on the backhand, she did some great work. You know, it was a tight heat. It was a real tussle, that one. Wasn't too many opportunities, but, you know, Bronte found them.
And Nick getting to the number 3 spot. An unbelievable performance from the Cross. Looking so comfortable at main break today.
Yeah, when you have a sibling on tour, you feed off their energy, and I feel like that's what really happened with Crosby today. Feeded off Griffin's 10 and then just put it into action and had one of the best heats we've seen him have all year so far. He loved it. We loved it. Crosby, he's back.
He is finding the magic. Number 2, making the cut, Luana Silva, and also Lakey Peterson, Rick.
Big day for Luana and Lakey. You know, they really had to surf for their spots on tour. They stood up, they produced the goods with some real solid surfing, and you can see the emotion. Leandra Dora and boyfriend there, Joao. Celebrations and disbelief, really, at that point. from Luana. She was just mind-blowing that she'd made the two up. And then the last heat of the day, we saw Lakey Peterson just with a real polished performance. Just no mistakes, real veteran-like status, just flexing and getting it done.
Looks so solid, so confident. She mentioned her back injury earlier in her career. That's gone. She's attacking sections. Working with Leandro Dora this year has been a magic combination, and winning the post show. Griffin Colapinto provides the magic 10 under priority.
Oh, it had to be number one. This was the craziest air we've seen all event, and Rick saying maybe ever at Margaret River. It was just absolutely crazy from Griff. So much technique, so much poise. Got himself a 10 across the board. Not one judge questioned it. And got a big heat win over Leo Fioravanti, and it was just because of that critical full air rotation.
When Griffin comes in, he's feeling good. Tommy's talking, but he's just laughing. He's just cracking up. That's the kind of athlete he is and the character he is. When he can just zero into those magic moments like he had at the box, he's connected that to main break. Danger signs for the field with Griffin in this kind of headspace.
We know that this kid works on energy. You know, he really does tap into it when he's feeling good and things start happening. He's a real danger, you know, and definitely one of the ones to watch tomorrow for sure.
Wow, we waited so long for this day, all those lay days, and now we're into finals day tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing who will be crowned the champions here. Stop number 7 of the season. We still have one more GWM Tank 300 to give away on the men's side. Join us tomorrow morning, 6:45 local time for the call. We know it's going to be on tomorrow, so we'll see you bright and early as we crown our champions. Take care. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.